Yes, indeed. B Marsh Boxing at it with another live stream. And last night before I went to sleep, I was checking out some videos. I seen a video by the Boxing Voice, and they interviewed Efe Ajagba, man from Nigeria. I seen the first time I saw the guy. He participated in 2016's Olympics. You know, what I mean, he represented his country, Nigeria, and the man had a devastating knockout. That's what I remember. You know, what I mean, I can't remember who eliminated him, but I do know he sparked out some Trini dude. He put him to sleep. You know, you don't really see stuff like that in the amateurs, you know what I'm saying? Putting fellas to sleep, and that's exactly what F.A. Jogba did, a man from Trinidad, you know what I mean? So he was on my radar ever since. You know, this guy is physically built like a Jesus Christ, man. This guy has a long reach, some old Dhalsim from Street Fighter type reach. And the guy's he's making waves, he's making headlines, you know what I mean? Especially ever since that guy was his name Curtis Harper, the guy who walked out on F.A. Jagba when they were supposed to fight on FS1. He touched gloves. The dude, when they touched gloves in the middle of the ring, was about to fight. The dude just walked out the ring, and that fight was in Minneapolis, I believe, at the Minneapolis Armory over there in Minnesota. You know what I'm saying? And ever since then, F.A. Jagba's profile has risen, significantly. You know what I mean? His man was his Instagram followers rose, his social media presence. And he's a guy that people are actually looking at like, this guy could actually be a force to be reckoned with in the near future. You know what I mean? The guy has a good amateur experience. I mean, he reached the Olympics. You know what I mean? I'm not too sure how many total fights he had, but the as far as amateurs are concerned, the pinnacle of their amateur background is making it to the Olympics, and F.A. Jabba did just that. So he did a very candid interview with the Boxing Voice, a 32-minute interview. You know what I mean? And I just want to read out some expert excerpts, or just play it. Actually, I'm gonna play the audio. What's good, Mike D? He's in the chat. What's good with you, fam? I see you, big man. Everything's all good.
Choice name. You got to
So I want to play
think,
this.
you think he's going to win this fight December 1st versus Tyson Fury? Yes, he's going to win the fight.
Listen to what the man got to
Win the fight
say
back. Oh, yeah.
about
See me fight to the
the truth, basically,
it's
about
clear to them
Anthony
that that's what
Joshua
they
and
understand. Like,
Deontay Wilder.
boxing because back then they don't understand boxing.
The truth about Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder, as far as them fighting each other, and basically the truth about them, on a personal level, like individually, you know what I mean? If they don't fight each other, he's speaking his mind and giving his opinion about what will happen to both guys if they don't fight each other and or if they do fight each other. So please listen. Here's the excerpts I'm going to play. Some audio, all right? Here we go.
They will take away start from beginning, they go to fight champion. It's not like that. You have to start from somewhere and you want to become who you want to become. In a year and a half, you think Anthony Joshua is still the champion and Deontay Wilder still have their belts? Or you think in a year and a half, maybe Joe Joyce, maybe Tyson Fury, maybe Big Baby Miller can defeat and take those belts from one of those guys? Or you think when you get there, they still got the belt? So, well, right now, it's just that. So, we know what the approach is. We try to make Joshua to go forward. My promoter cannot fight there right now. To make it go forward because when they go forward, you're going to lose performance. Like the boxing skills, they're not going to have it. Boxing skills, all this stuff, they're not going to have it. Everything is going to move out. If you judge Wilder power, but like my manager cannot allow me to fight Wilder. If this money is enough, he will make that fight happen. But if the money is loaded, it's not going to happen because it's both of us have the same management. Yeah. So. But you think Wilder still will have the belt in a year and a half? I don't think so. Or you think he loses? Yeah, he's going to lose it. Like maybe anything can happen. I don't know. Like Wilder can have the belt for 1 year and a half, but somebody like going to come to take it. Who do you think will come and take it? I don't know. I can't make sure his name. It could have happened. You think he's gonna win this fight December 1st versus Tyson Fury? Yes, he's gonna win the fight. Oh, he wins this fight? He will win the fight, but he will win the the fight by knockout.
Oh, by
But I don't know the one. We won the fight by knockout. Because sometimes Tasifiri is very clever. It's very awkward, you know. He doesn't stay. He switch from support to orthodox. He switch. So he used it now to compete Josh the Wilder.
Yeah.
But Wilder, like, the swing, he can punch from nowhere. That's what Wilder is. He can punch from nowhere. He can make him look Tasifiri look stupid. That's what the fight is all about.
What about Joshua? You think he still be a champion in a year and a half? He'll still have his belts, or would someone take him?
I don't know why I don't know about Joshua, because he's a promoter. At the end know what's good. He know what is good to happen. That's why I don't let the fight happen. So to me, it's going to happen.
Wait. You don't think Anthony Joshua fights Wilder because he knows what's going to happen?
At the end, the promoter, he knows what's going to happen.
Eddie Hearn knows that. And what do you think is going to happen?
Because he knows that Wilder going to take the bet back.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why. You know, they offer Wilder for $50 million.
Yeah.
They gave the offer Joshua 50. Joshua didn't agree. That's much money. At the end, said don't want it. So because he knows what's going to happen, he's going to take the bet from me. That's why I don't want to fight.
So you think you'll ever be invited to Anthony Joshua's camp, maybe for sparring?
No.
You won't go?
No.
You don't want him to see you?
No, you already see me in the first fight. The guy that knocked down, the first one. You know the guy that asked?
Yeah.
I forget his name, in New York. So I met him there because Shelley introduced me to Wilder.
Oh, but not Joshua?
Not Joshua, Wilder, just Wilder. That's it. That's what happened.
So you think that you will go to maybe Joshua's sparring camp? Would you accept the invitation to any elite level camp?
No, I can't accept.
You don't want them to see you?
No, I don't want to see. Because I don't want to see my skills. I don't want them to see my skills, power, and everything. So I don't want them. Because like this guy Povecki, the guy that lost to Wilder, Joshua, he invited me to this camp. I ran told him no. Because I don't want them to see my power, my skills, and everything.
So how do you get better if you're not going to spar the elite level fighters?
So before Joshua become heavyweight, he did spar with big guys.
Now?
So it's spar like maybe 2 to 3 guys, top guys, 2 to 3 guys. All those guys, they're not the best. They're just giving me sparring. Like it's not one man sparring, just 3 guys. That's it.
So when you do sparring, Ronnie changes the guys?
Yes. Like the spar, my brother is a cruiserweight. We always spar back home in Nigeria. They gave me hard sparring.
You heard it there from the man F.A. Ajagba. The guy's actually showing no bias to nobody. You know what I mean? So anybody, any of these Eddie Hearn fanatics, Anthony Joshua fanatics, you can't come up on my channel talking about the guy is gonna be biased because he has the same manager in Shelly Finkel with Deontay Wilder. You know what I'm saying? He said he will not spar Deontay Wilder, nor Anthony Joshua. Why? Because he says he doesn't want to showcase his skills and put everything on the table and show everything he has against these elite guys. NDC gave an example. Anthony Joshua didn't spar nobody. You know what I'm saying? Even till he became a world champion, he ain't spar anybody of significance. You know what I mean? But, from what I remember knowing that, I think that the man, I'm not too sure who Anthony Joshua did spar with. I think he had sparred with guys like Klitschko at some point, you know what I mean? But so did Wilder. You check it. So the guy F.A. Ajagba, 88-inch reach, his reach, you know what I mean? This guy said it himself, you know what I'm saying? He said it that Eddie Hearn and them, they don't want to put the man Anthony Joshua in the ring with Deontay Wilder. He said, why? Because they know what's going to happen. Deontay Wilder's going to take all their belts. You know what I mean? Now, is that written in stone? Is that a foregone conclusion? No, because the fight hasn't happened. You know what I'm saying? But if this guy right here, a guy who's trying to accomplish his dreams, he says he respects Anthony Joshua, how he made his dreams come true, and he wants to pursue the same, the same blueprint, you know what I mean, to try and get himself, his dream is to become the heavyweight champion of the world and snatch all the belts, you know what I mean? The man is from Nigeria too. And if you do listen to that video, the Boxing Voice video, he does talk about the reception Anthony Joshua receives from real Nigerians, you know what I mean? Real fellas from Nigeria. You check it like F.A. Ajagba. Um, so he's not biased by no means, you know what I mean? But he did say, he ain't gonna spar neither of them. Yes, he's managed. He says the only time he will fight a guy like Deontay Wilder is if there's a lot of money on the table, obviously, because they have the same managers. And if it makes sense, if it makes dollars, it makes sense, you know what I mean? And obviously, he's not at that stage as of right now, you know what I mean? He's still, you know, I guess a prospect at this stage of his career, you know what I'm saying? But by him saying that, that Eddie Hearn, I'm not even buying that Eddie Hearn bullshit, that Eddie Hearn is the one. Look, man, fighters want to fight each other, and it's obvious. Deontay Wilder wants to fight. He's made it be known. He's been the most vocal out of the two. Let's be real. Eddie Hearn, Anthony Joshua's mouthpiece is Eddie Hearn. You know what I'm saying? Um, Deontay Wilder, for anybody, even a person who's not a fan of boxing, who doesn't know, if you just show any videos about the two, who wants to fight, it's clear that Deontay Wilder wants to fight. But I'm not buying this stuff that Anthony Joshua is the one who's I'm sorry, Eddie Hearn is the one keeping the fight away. Keep trying to keep the fight away from Deontay Wilder. Anthony Joshua has to take blame for this situation as well. Last I remember, the promoters work for the fighter. You know what I'm saying? The promoters work for the fighter, and if the fighters want to fight each other, they're gonna make that happen. A fighter's job is to tell the promoter, look, get on the horn with the promoter or whatever, however way you contact them, tell them, dogs, get me that fight. I want that fight. You know what I'm saying? I want that fight. You know what I mean? And FL Jogbe, man, he broke it down clear and simple. You know what I mean? I seen some nut ass commenters in the comment section who trying to make fun of his accent, acting like they can't hear him. I've listened to the video twice, and I've heard everything he said. If you didn't hear what he's saying, then you have a problem understanding English. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I agree with everything F.A. Jagbe said. You know what I mean? F.A. Jagbe doesn't have no malice, no ill intentions. The man is on trying to pursue his own dreams and carve out his own path in the heavyweight division. You know what I'm saying? And I think he will be there at the end of the day. At the end of the day, the man will be a definitely a contender, and he might be a champion. You know what I mean? He said Deontay Wilder will probably lose his belt in a year and a half, and so will, but he didn't say the who. He says he doesn't know. He can't call it. But he said the same thing for Anthony Joshua. But what he did say is Anthony Joshua will lose all them straps to Deontay Wilder if they face each other, and that's why Eddie Hearn is keeping him away from him. You know, lately I've been seeing in a lot of comment sections, you know what I'm saying, what you call it? I've been seeing in a lot of comment sections, people been they're kind of content and they're satisfied with Wilder AJ not fighting Wilder. They be like, man, leave that bum AJ Wilder alone. Wilder, he ain't fought nobody in 40 fights. You don't need to fight him. These are the same kind of, and other commenters just be said, yeah, like, just the same, just the same thing. I'm saying? Like, AJ doesn't need Wilder. He should move along and forget about the dude Wilder, because that fight's not important, and we don't need to see it anyways, because Wilder has skinny legs and he has fought nobody, and he's he started his career as far as getting a world championship in his 30th fight. All things that are insignificant with making a matchup for undisputed at the heavyweight division. You know what I'm saying? But really and truly, what this reminds me of is deja vu. It reminds me of the Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather buildup. It came to a point in time that after 5 years and more, a lot of Manny Pacquiao fans were content with him not fighting Floyd. And I was a Manny Pacquiao fan, and I'm a Floyd Mayweather fan. And it was frustrating not seeing that fight happen. And I'd even throw my hands up and said, you know what, that fight ain't never gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't pleased with that situation. I wasn't content with them not fighting each other. And I was very critical of Floyd Mayweather at that time. You know what I mean? and that was like the one of the only times in my and I was critical about him, and I was also critical about Pacquiao. You know what I mean? And I blame both of them for not making the fight. And I said, you know what? When these two motherfuckers fight each other, then they'll hear no more criticism from me. And guess what? They did fight each other, and they ain't. I ain't criticized none of them guys, Floyd or Pacquiao, ever since. Now, what I'm saying is, guys have been content. Go look at these comment sections. You know what I mean? How they flame up Wilder and say he has skinny legs. Oh, he got knocked out in the seventh round by you see the hyperbole and exaggeration by these fanatics. They said Luis Ortiz knocked him out in the seventh round. I seen that fight. I didn't even see Deontay Wilder ass on the canvas. My man didn't hit he didn't hit the canvas. He wasn't on the canvas like Anthony Joshua was in the fifth, or was it the fifth round versus Vladimir Klitschko. And I'm not trying to compare. The truth of the matter is, I've seen one guy on the canvas in the Vlad fight, Luis Ortiz versus Wilder. I did not see Wilder on the canvas, but I seen the Cuban Ortiz on the canvas 3 times, and the last time he was on his knees like a whore. You know what I'm saying? The man was on all fours, and he waved his head like, nah, no mas, no thank you. But yet, the AJ fanatics, Eddie Hearn nut huggers gonna say Wilder got knocked out in the seventh. All right, whatever. It is what it is. You could keep believing that. You could keep believing what you want. You know what I mean? But you know what the outcome of that fight was. You know what I mean? But what I'm trying to say is people are content that AJ and Wilder are not fighting. And it's not the Wilder fans. The Wilder fans are fucking pissed. And that's how I used to feel when Manny and Floyd didn't fight each other. They pissed that this fight, two grown ass men are not trying to get in the ring and fight each other. I know Wilder wants to fight. I know, matter of fact, I know Eddie Hearn and AJ, they don't want that fight right now. You know what I'm saying? And it's not me saying that, just a guesstimation. We've heard Barry Hearn, the pops of Eddie Hearn, say that. You know what I mean? We heard him say ideally what he would like to do, prolong the fight and make it a mega fight. You know what I'm saying? To the point where they could amass 100 million rather than 50 to 70 to 80 million. You know what I mean? That's what he said. And we've seen Anthony Joshua on that ring mat with Johnny Nelson talking about he wants to fight in 2019, 2020. And that was in 2017, ladies and gents. Okay? So we can't be playing these stupid games, you know what I mean? We know what's really good. You check it. But fuck, I got a brain freeze. I was trying to make a point. Um yeah, basically, them being content with the fight not happening, you know what I'm saying? And I seen the same situation happen with the Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather situation. But I'm gonna tell you like this, man. Whenever that fight do happens or not, I think Deontay Wilder will win the fight. You know what I mean? I could be wrong, but can't nobody come here on YouTube and say B Marshall's beating his chest all motherfucking day and say Wilder's gonna annihilate, slaughter, or knock AJ the fuck out, do this, that, and the third. I'm just giving you a prediction, just like I'd give you a prediction if the Boston Celtics and the Los Angeles Lakers play tonight. It's just what I would think. I think the Boston Celtics will beat them tonight. You know what I mean? I'll give you another prediction. I don't know. The New England Patriots face Kansas City Chiefs like they did a few weeks ago. If you ask me the day of, my prediction is the New England Patriots will beat the Kansas City Chiefs. But I'm not gonna say like we gonna fuck them up. We gonna do this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? I'm not one of them type of fans because it's boxing. Anything can happen. Expect the unexpected. You know what I mean? But I do see a prediction. I see a lot of these Anthony Joshua fans. If Wilder and AJ do meet each other, believe you me, man, these Anthony Joshua fanatics are gonna be on suicide watch. I know that for a fact. I do know that for a fact. Well, you could say the same maybe for the Wilder fanatics. You can't put me in that category. I'm a fan of Deontay Wilder, but like I said in my previous video, if he loses to Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, or anybody, I'm not going to lose no sleep. It's the heavyweight division. Deontay Wilder, in my opinion, it should be favored to beat guys like Tyson Fury. And if he doesn't, that's on him. You know what I mean? It is what it is. You check it. I'm not going to lose no sleep about it because I wasn't here making videos every single day keeping Anthony Joshua's name in my mouth and Wilder's. Just, just keep on talking about a fight that's nowhere even close to being made. You know what I mean? But the Anthony Joshua fanatics, you know what I mean, who've taken a stance that all Deontay Wilder fans are black people who are ghetto, who are purse snatchers. I've heard this, man. I've seen this in comment sections, live chat sessions, and if that's if that's how they do view Deontay Wilder fans, then good gosh, man, the world, we still way behind. You know what I mean, as far as intelligence and as far as cultural relationships and just what I mean, getting past the fact that it's just boxing, you know what I'm saying? Fellas are taking this shit way too personal, you know what I mean? I haven't. I don't gotta come up here and bash nobody. But what I'm trying to say is, at the end of the day, if Deontay Wilder does happen to dispose of Anthony Joshua, and it could be vice versa, you know what I mean? But I've seen more racial tendencies and racial epithets from the Anthony Joshua fans. I'm gonna keep it real. Some may say, "Oh, the Deontay Wilder fans been saying, oh, Eddie Hearn is a slave master, this, that, and the third." Well, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Fellas been saying, going back and forth, saying stuff that's all inappropriate because at the end of the day, it's all about what they could do with their fists in the ring. You know what I mean? But I do know the Anthony Joshua fans, and I can't even really go in and say the Wilder fans because I'm a Wilder fan, and I know I'm not gonna be on no suicide watch. I'm gonna still be doing videos. Life goes on. But the Anthony Joshua fans, man, I'm trying to tell you, dogs, just from seeing in the comment sections how they'd rather not even face Deontay Wilder right now. If that fight do happen and Wilder gets and knocks this dude straight the fuck out, man, a lot of channels going to be shut down. A lot of people going to be on a suicide watch. And a lot of people going to jump off the Anthony Joshua bandwagon, you know what I mean? Just like they did Manny Pacquiao, you know what I'm saying? And thank God for Al Heyman for giving the man Manny Pacquiao a second chance as far as, redeeming his what is it, pay-per-view status, you know what I mean? Bob Arum, he's a greaseball and he treated Manny Pacquiao unfairly because he didn't win that Floyd Mayweather fight. So did Nike, you know what I mean? So did Nike, the athletic sportswear Nike, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, they took away Manny Pacquiao's endorsements because he said something about gays, like even animals know the difference between male and female as far as the species. And, the gay community wasn't feeling that. And Nike, I guess they rolled with the gay community and they snatched Manny Pacquiao's endorsements away. But truth be told, Manny Pacquiao said some shit like that about the gays in 2012 when he was on top of his game. And Nike ain't take his them endorsements away from him. You know what I mean? It's just the fact that he ain't get through Floyd Mayweather. You know what I mean? And the Manny Pacquiao fans, I knew that Floyd was going to win that fight by on points. The Manny Pacquiao fans, I guess they just couldn't they couldn't deal with it. They had to even make videos talking about slow motion thing. Go watch the fight in slow motion. You'll see Manny Pacquiao won the fight. They was really on a suicide watch. Fellas closed their channels. I remember a white dude by the name of Ringer of Rain, some shit. He used to start his videos like the man, the myth, the legend. He was a big Manny Pacquiao fan. And I like Manny Pacquiao too. Just like I like Floyd Mayweather. But guys like maybe like Dante's Boxing Nation, he be biased towards Floyd Mayweather. Just like, and I think he goes overboard. Just like the guy, the Bringer of Rain guy. I don't know where his channel's at anymore, but he was a big Pacquiao fanatic, you know what I mean? But he would kind of try to hide it, but he really was. Where he at now? Ever since Pacquiao lost that fight, son closed down his channel. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm trying to say, man. F.A. Ajagba, this guy's in the heavyweight division. He's in the know. He sees what's going on. And I'm not even in the heavyweight division. I'm just a spectator, a fan, a guy who keeps up and follows the boxing news. And it's plain to see. You can't change me. There's clear and present danger. And Matchroom Boxing, Eddie Hearn, and Anthony Joshua in particular, they don't want that smoke, you know what I mean? You could say what you want. I know who wants that smoke, and it's Deontay Wilder, you know what I'm saying? And if you haven't listened to that interview from F.A. Jagba in the Boxing Voice, I suggest you do. You know what I mean? That was a real candid interview. You know, it's the first time I really seen a lengthy interview with the guy F.A. Ajagba, you know what I mean? And if the guy was biased, he would have said that, yeah, Deontay Wilder is not going to lose no time soon. But he was the first one to say he's going to lose in a year and a half. You know what I mean? But he said if Deontay Wilder, AJ, they keeping him away from Wilder, you know what I mean? Because they trying to milk that cash cow and they don't want Wilder to take all the belts, you know what I mean? See what y'all talking about in the chat. Alrighty. Um, Mike D says, I got AJ beating Wilder. True indeed. We shall see if they'll ever fight. I mean, we shall find out. JD says, did Ajagba speak the truth or give his opinion? I think he spoke the truth. JD, I think he spoke the truth. JD, you know Barry Hearn and Anthony Joshua themselves said they want to fight in 2020, okay? You know what I mean? If that's not speaking the truth or that's not no matter of opinion, that's what these guys said from their mouth, all right? What's the point of prolonging that fight? You know what I mean? If they think, if like Anthony Joshua said, remember when he was talking to 50 Cent on the phone or something? He said, bring Wilder through, I'll fuck him up. Didn't you hear Anthony Joshua say, I'll knock Deontay Wilder out in 3 rounds? JD, you ever heard Deontay Wilder? I'm saying, you ever heard the man Anthony Joshua say, give me 50 million. Give me 50 million and we can make that fight happen. And he was offered the 50 million. And you've seen Tyson Fury said, yeah, that shit was true. They offered him 50 million, but he backed out of that shit. So JD, it's the truth, facts. Mike D says some opinion, some truth from what he knows. Well, you could say it's his opinion as far as maybe Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua will lose within a year and a half. But everything else, as far as Anthony Joshua and them ducking the fight, that's the fact. That's truth. Mike D says, if I was AJ manager, I would get his experience up. Come on, man. Experience? The man has 3 belts, dogs. What do you mean experience? I'm gonna finish what you're reading and you were saying anyways. If I was AJ manager, I'll get his experience up before letting them fight Wilder. Me personally, yeah, that sounds like what all the Eddie Hearn and AJ um, fanatics are saying in the comment section. At least you're saying let him get experience before they fight him. The other fanatics are saying they don't even want that fight no more. That's what they're saying. JD says Eddie Hearn's been keeping AJ away from Wilder by sending legitimate contracts and offers. That's the best way to duck in boxing nowadays. If you don't want to fight someone, send them a contract. Yeah, a contract which really and truly wasn't fitting what a heavyweight undisputed fight should gather. You know what I mean? They weren't trying to give. They first tried to give the man 12.5 million with no percentages, no pay per view revenue, and no percentages of the gate. But they did give that to Joseph Parker. If I was in Deontay Wilder's position, I wouldn't take that neither. Why should that bum ass Australian or New Zealand guy who we all knew Anthony Joshua would beat, and he looked terrible in the fight, to be honest, Anthony Joshua did. Why would this guy get a percentage and not Wilder? Yeah, so how about what? How does that make sense? Mike D says at JD, I mean Wilder wants more money, not little money. Yeah, well he deserves more money than and a higher percentage than a guy, and a percentage period, which he wasn't being offered. You know what I mean? JD says AJ doesn't want to overpay Wilder for his opportunity, and why should he? Paying him well is paying him well is sufficient in my opinion. I want to see the fight April 13. Wilder's team are not interested. Al Heyman is not ready. Well, Deontay Wilder has a fight going on in December, you know what I mean? So the guy should stop his training and try to be negotiating and overlook the fact that he could even lose to the man Tyson Fury and think about Wilder and think about AJ and negotiate. Come on, man. Where they do that at? Mike D says to JD, that's any fighter. Mike D says I'm back in AJ, but AJ's still green and not in his prime yet. Wilder's in his prime. I'm not buying that AJ's not is still green. How is he green when he's probably the quickest fighter ever in boxing history to amass 3 belts in a few amount of fights. How is he still green? I don't get it. How you figure he's still green? How's the man not in his prime? The man's not no spring chicken, dogs. The man is like 28 years old. JD says if AJ loses, he loses. I can't tell from your statements, JD. Anyways, I'm quite confident he beats AJ easily, though, and I want to see the fight ASAP. JD, when that fight happens, win, lose, or draw, please come back on the channel if the fight happens, and don't go into obscurity like a lot of these AJ fans and Eddie Hearn nut huggers will do, because I've seen this happen before. I'm trying to tell you, man. The pattern is written on the wall. When Anthony Joshua fans are content with the fight not happening, then I don't know what to say, man. I'm not happy that the fight's not happening, but I don't come here on YouTube and bitch about it all day, every day. You know what I mean? I want to talk about breakdowns and predictions rather than talking about percentages, managers, and accountants. You know what I mean? Because you and I ain't no accountants, JD. I want to see the fight happen. Mike D says, I see um, the way I see the AJ fight has to survive the first 4 rounds to win the fight. That's the way I look at it. JD says, I think Wilder has to survive the first 4 rounds. AJ is a faster starter than Wilder and more willing to take calculated risk earlier. Mike D says that Pacquiao fight could have gone either way. No, 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 no. That's what we're not going to do, Mike D. That fight couldn't have gone either way. Floyd washed him. I had that fight 9 rounds to 3. 9 rounds to 3. 117 to 111. No, it wasn't close. It couldn't have gone either way. That's what the Pacquiao fanatics would try to make you believe, you know what I mean? But I'm a Pacquiao fan, believe you me. And I'm a Floyd Mayweather fan. I went into that fight with a clean heart. Whoever wins that fight wins it with a clean heart. But I knew Floyd Mayweather would have won it. And if the fight happened in 2009, it would have even been worse, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, that's how it is, man. That's what it is. Go check out that F.A. Ajagba interview. A very pleasant interview. He's a guy that I've been watching since the Olympics, man, 2016. And this is the first time I've really heard a lengthy interview from him. So I gotta give the Boxing Voice props. And B Marsh Boxing gotta give everybody props who came through, participated in the chat. Mike D, JD, thanks a lot. And I'm out of here. Please go watch that interview and let me know your thoughts and comments if you do listen, and leave your thoughts and comments on the archives. All right? I'm out of here. Peace.